This is possibly the most divisive cocktail ingredient in the world. The egg. For some, it's an eggy abomination that has no place in a drink. But it can create silky textures, trap air bubbles, and add richness that transforms ordinary cocktails into something super luxe. They are worth adding to your cocktail repertoire. And the way you use eggs completely changes what they do to your drink. A whiskey sour is one of the most iconic classic cocktails. And partly, it's that gorgeous half-inch thick foam that does it. We don't just use the egg white for visuals though. Whiskey has tannins. Those astringent compounds that add a rough texture that you can feel on your tongue. You can find them in many red wines or cranberry juice, and you'll recognize it if you've ever overbrewed a cup of black tea. A little tannin presence is a good thing. It can really improve a food and wine pairing. It's the reason a Bordeaux goes so well with fatty meats and cheeses. The tannins act as an astringent, cleansing the palate between bites, while the fat softens the tannins in the wine, making it taste smoother. Too much though, and it's out of balance. When you add an egg white to a whiskey sour, those egg proteins actually bond to the tannins and soften them, and you get a smoother, rounder tasting cocktail. But egg whites do something else remarkable. They're almost entirely protein and water, and when you shake them vigorously, they trap thousands of tiny air bubbles. Those proteins link together and form a network that holds the bubbles on the surface, creating that silky foam texture. This is our whiskey sour. 2 ounces of rye whiskey, 3/4 of an ounce of simple syrup, 1/2 ounce of lemon juice, and 1 egg white. Make sure you firmly put the 2 tins together. We shake without ice first for about 45 seconds to start building that protein network. As you whip the eggs, the protein strands will start to unwind. This is a technique called the dry shake. Whew. Then we add ice and shake again for 15 seconds to chill and dilute. Some of the ice melts into water, so this is called the wet shake. Strain and pour. Most people think that more foam equals a better cocktail, but that's not actually the case. A few years ago, a technique called the reverse dry shake became popular, where you flip the order. Shake with ice, but no egg white at first for 15 seconds, then strain the cocktail into the other tin, dump the ice, and dry shake with the egg white. Look at that difference. The reverse dry shake gives you more foam. But here's what's interesting. See how there's more separation between the foam and the drink itself is more transparent? Well, that thick foam actually sits on top like a cap. The traditional method creates less dramatic foam, but it's actually better integrated throughout the drink. And you can see it because the drink itself is more opaque. When you drink them, the traditional dry shake feels silky and cohesive. The foam enhances every sip. But the reverse method looks more impressive, but the foam is less integrated, and it just feels thinner in the mouth. Shout out to Teak House, the sponsor of this series. Their cutting boards are made of teak, which contains resins that naturally repel water. This means you don't need to oil the boards as frequently to keep them in top-notch shape. And aren't we all on the lookout for low-maintenance products that are designed to last? So here's a fun hack. If you want to skip the whole dry shake business, it is a little tiring. You can cheat with a milk frother. Use that instead of a dry shake, and then shake with ice as normal. And if you have any leftover egg whites from baking, you can freeze them in ice cube trays. 1 cube equals about 1 egg white, and they actually work great for dry shaking. Just add a cube instead of a fresh white and shake until it melts. Then shake with ice. You'll find it gives you slightly less foam, but it's still very acceptable. If raw eggs make you a little hesitant for safety reasons, you have plenty of options. From store-bought pasteurized eggs to pasteurizing them yourself, as well as vegan alternatives like aquafaba or cocktail foamers. We show you and rate all the options in Cocktails Illustrated. For egg cocktails, aromatic garnishes are essential. I like using Angostura bitters. You'll need to transfer some to a dropper bottle first. Add a few drops, and then drag a toothpick through them. Beautiful and functional. You get this spiced note on the nose that converts any mild eggy smell into something warm and fragrant. It's the same reason that an eggnog or flip is vastly improved by a grating of fresh nutmeg or cinnamon. So egg whites smooth harsh flavours and create foam, but what happens when you use the whole egg? The yolk changes everything. It's 1/3 fat, and fat is foam's enemy. Those fat molecules interfere with the protein networks, so you get much less foam, but a dramatically richer flavour and texture. This creates an entirely different style of cocktail, rich and creamy, almost like liquid dessert. The flip was a sailor's drink back in the 1600s. They'd mix rum and ale, then pour it back and forth between pitchers to get it frothy. It's similar to how nowadays Thai street vendors pour iced tea between cups to create foam. This flipping action was how the flip got its name. When it made its way to American taverns, they started adding eggs for richness and heating the whole thing with a red-hot poker plunged right into the mug. The heat would caramelize the sugars and make it froth. Modern flips are served cold and are much simpler, just a spirit, whole eggs, and a sweetener. For a brandy flip, it's 2 ounces of brandy, 1 whole egg, and a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Then we'll dry shake first to incorporate the egg, but I'm going to use my milk frother hack. Then add ice, and shake. And then we'll strain. And then garnish with some fresh nutmeg. You've got something that tastes like liquid velvet. The whole egg gives you richness without that aggressive foam. It's creamy, slightly sweet, and has this amazing mouthfeel that coats your palate. You can easily customize flips. Split the brandy with port for a ruby flip, or even use an amaro for something more bitter and complex. Now, add dairy to a flip and you've got eggnog. And there's an interesting reason this became the drink of Christmas. While eggnog was made year-round in 18th century America, dairy and eggs became scarce in winter, so it got reserved for special occasions during those months. It was actually traditional to have eggnog for breakfast on Christmas morning, or if you were really celebrating, on each of the 12 days of Christmas. In terms of making it food safe, you have a couple of options. You can combine the eggs with booze and sugar, making sure to keep the alcohol at least at 18%, and then refrigerate for 3 weeks, minimum, to drive off any potential pathogens. That makes something pretty good, but I've got something better and quicker. Our version whisks together whole eggs plus a couple of extra yolks for richness. You can freeze those whites for a whiskey sour later, along with sugar and salt. Use it to make a custard with milk, then bring the whole thing to 160 degrees. This makes it food safe and creates this lovely, lightly thickened texture. The key is gradual heat and constant stirring, which prevents the eggs at the bottom of the pot from curdling. Strain the nog to catch any cooked lumps of egg, and whisk in a cup of brandy, some vanilla, and freshly grated nutmeg. Chill this base completely in the fridge. Now, here's our secret for incredible texture. Whip heavy cream to soft peaks, and then whip it into the chilled base. This gives you a much lighter, more luxurious texture. It's fluffy and marshmallow-like. It's that combo of custard and whipped cream. This is a drink that's practically a meal. Well, maybe breakfasts. Rich, spiced, completely safe, and absolutely delicious. Commercial eggnog doesn't even come close. We love this version so much, we made 4 variations of it. I think my favorite is the almond lemon version. So good. Combines amaretto with fresh lemon juice and zest. Also, we have a great non-alcoholic substitution. Use root beer instead of the brandy and reduce the sugar. You can also sub in whiskey or rum, or use a combo. This is a really lovely template for experimentation. So remember, eggs in cocktails aren't just about tradition, they're about technique. Egg whites smooth harsh flavours and create foam, whole eggs add richness, and cooking them into a custard gives you the ultimate holiday indulgence. Cheers! If you like this episode, you will love our new book, Cocktails Illustrated. It's packed with hundreds of recipes, cocktail science, and explanations like these.